Happy Saturday, folks. It's the one and only Jimmy. I'm here to bring you, some more music stuff. It's been a eventful couple weeks. Been working with a bunch of people. Been seeing a bunch of venues pop up. As far as like, I know the girls got like Camp Pennsylvania, that place picked out now up in Scranton. Looks less culty than the last place, we'll say. Um, but today I wanted to, I'm going back down to York because I love these guys, and I want to talk to the owner of the West York Inn, Jason Overmiller. He owns West York Inn, and he has been booking bands, having bands down there like crazy. And I actually met him like almost on accident when I went down for coffee with Lions there in September. Just talking to random people outside, and it ended up being him, which was pretty cool. Can we bring him in? Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
Good, good.
Good.
Busy and tired.
Yeah. And I'm sorry about the technical difficulties to begin with. That's just like,
Yeah, it's what happens these days with these things.
oh, these things drive me nuts. I just saw Zoom was getting is the Zoom thing, like they were getting sued for something now because of these things being so much crap.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So,
Fortunately, everything's over video now and on phones and laptops.
yeah. Yeah. And after COVID, it's like everything is now. It like made it so much bigger. So, you own the York Inn, correct?
Oh, I don't own it now. I just run the
You
venue
you
side of
you
it.
you run the venue side of it?
Yeah,
Okay. You guys look like you have like mad shit booked up.
yeah. We're actually booked every weekend until the end of June right now, next
That's in,
year.
that's incredible.
Yeah, it's been it's took me by surprise. I'll be honest.
Yeah, no, and it's I don't know. I think bands are happy to have a place to play. One thing, like, and then obviously you guys, like I said, I saw you saying you were, had a few slots left or whatever a couple weeks ago, and then they filled up pretty immediately too.
Yeah, it was just middle of November, I think, when I announced that I was going to start booking for 2022, and it took about 2 weeks to fill the first half of the year.
Now, do you like go through any sort of processes booking people? Do you listen and all that stuff first, or
Yeah, I check in. I'll usually send me links to videos, or they'll send me their Bandcamp link, and I'll go and check them out, or just do it old school and go to a show somewhere and hear them.
yeah? Now, like I was saying earlier, I'm like, I was funny because I like mistakenly talked to you that night. We were all at the Coffee Lion show with the queers.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Right.
Yeah, because I was after, where's, John Grove was like, "That was Jason," and I was like, had no idea who that was."
Yeah, I kind of fly under the radar a lot.
Yeah, that's good, I don't. But, you guys got a great scene down there, man, like, good lord, like, I was so impressed with everything when I was there, and I'm looking forward to coming back. I actually, like I told you earlier, I got tickets to that, Beastie Boys tribute show you guys are hosting.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good one. It's not a very big room, and it's gonna be a full room that night. So
What's capacity at your place?
about 200.
About 200? That's
Yeah, and
that's
what we sold for the Beastie Boys is 200 tickets.
well, I got 2 of them. Like I said, like I said, I'm really looking forward to it. How did you get into this? Like, as far as events and promoting and
Well, I've always just kind of been going to local shows and everything around here. And prior to prior to COVID, I was going to at least 2 or 3 shows a month, just wherever. Some bigger shows, a lot of smaller shows. And then it was more until things started shutting down. When we were shut down, actually, and doing some remodeling to the bar, I was talking to the owner, and we just decided to renovate the one side of the bar and turn it into a live music venue. And we actually had a meeting, and I brought some of the local bands in, and we talked to them to kind of sat down and brainstormed like, hey, what do we need to do to make this happen? And John and Doug from Coffee were actually two of the people there that were at the original meeting when we were setting all this up.
yeah, those guys are great people. They're actually, we're doing that, thing for my birthday on, this coming Saturday, but, they're driving up from York to play for free. Like, I don't know. They're great humans, man. I talk to John almost like every day.
Yeah, pretty much me too, whether I want to or not.
Yeah. Yeah, he has a lot to say.
Yeah,
Yeah, great guy though. Can you tell us about some of the stuff you got upcoming anyway?
Yeah, and we're actually for the first show of January, we're actually unveiling, I should say, not launching because we've been doing shows since April, but we're finally going to unveil the actual name and the logo for the venue half of the bar. So we got and it's a charity event that we're doing for Pinups for Pit Bulls and a local animal charity called Sam's Beasties. And I got actually doing I have a comedian doing a half hour set to open and then four local bands to play.
Oh, that's cool.
And,
What the I'm sorry, what was the Pitbull thing?
Pinups for Pit Bulls.
Okay. What is that? I never heard of that before.
It's a charity for pit bulls, and they have like they do I think a calendar every year and stuff. Um, it just raises money for awareness of because pit bulls get the bad rap
Yeah.
for being mean, so it kind of raises awareness that that's not the way it really is with them.
No, I
So,
think with anything, it's where you're brought up and how you're brought up, even with humans, dogs, whatever, you know what I
oh,
mean?
definitely.
Yeah. It's horrible that they do get the bad rap because like, I don't know, been around them, I've had a couple, like, they're damn good dogs.
Oh yeah, everyone that I've ever met, unless they were taught to be that way, they've always been the most mobile, lovable animals that have been around.
Yeah, that's cool to see that there's, like, I don't know, even a charity for that, you know what I mean?
That's
I'm
a
a lo
pretty big charity, actually. I think their home office is in North Carolina or something, I think. I'm actually working with one of my buddies that's in a band. His wife works with animal shelters and stuff, so she kind of hooked me up with the charities for the event. So
That's cool. Do you guys do a lot of charity stuff?
that's going to be well, that'll be our second one. Our first one is actually we have a Toys for Tots event we're doing, let's say on Sunday or Sunday the 12th. So that'll be our first charity, and then the animal thing will be our actual second charity event.
I got
But
you. That's
open as you.
Yeah, that's what we're doing too, is Toys for Tots on Saturday. That's always a good one to me because I don't know.
Oh yeah, and that always brings people out, and then it's always you always get bands that are willing to do that kind of stuff and help other people out.
Yeah, and, like, I don't know, I was never opposed to helping kids, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Do you have any, like so I was gonna ask you, do you have any, like, horror stories or, like, lessons learned from, like, hosting past events or anything like that?
Yeah, there's always something going on. I mean, overall, it's been I would say 99% of the shows have been good, but you always have there's one-offs every now and then and we had a band come in one time that the headlining band of the band that I booked actually brought an opener in, so I never had any communication with the band that opened up the night, and they came to me wanting to get paid at the end of the night, and I was like, I didn't have any agreement with you. You're gonna have to talk to the guy that brought you in. So,
Yeah, that's yeah, I don't know, like, I don't know how you'd expect to get paid for that, just I've been in that you know what I mean? I've been a local musician for, I think, almost 20 years now, and, like, I don't know, half the time, when I would play anyway, I didn't money was never if you get into music for money, I think you're in, like, you're doing it all wrong 'cause it's
oh
seldom
yeah,
that it's seldom that you get, rock star status or anything like that.
yeah. And if that's what you're trying to get by doing it, then like you said, you're doing it for the wrong reason. 'Cause, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and, like, if we were saying about those guys with coffee earlier, like, I don't know, the scene's weird to me now because I don't know your age, but, I mean, I turned 38 yesterday, but, like, I feel like, I don't know, it's been less of a younger crowd coming in, like, I feel like, everybody in their mid-30s, 40s are, like, holding the scene strong as far as, like, punk rock and stuff goes.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because I'm a little bit older. I'm in my mid 40s, so
Alright,
I've
okay.
yeah. So I was always worried about that when I was younger and I was in my 20s and stuff, and I'm going to these punk rock shows and all that, and I'm like, what am I gonna do when I get older? Because I'm gonna all these little kids and everything around, and turns out it's the same people that I used to see 20 years ago at the same shows, want to see the same bands.
Yeah, yeah, and don't feel bad. I did an, interview with a struggling artist podcast. He interviewed me one time, and it was just after I met John and those guys, and I thought Aaron was, like, in his 50s, and I said that on the podcast, and then I kinda felt bad afterwards finding out that that wasn't the case.
It's always funny because people always ask me about Aaron, and he comes up all the time. Every because they'll ask me because the bartenders over there they love the guys in coffee too. Like everybody loves them, and the one of the other regulars is always like, "That band that was here that one time, and the guy he was up there, he's wearing a suit jacket. When are they coming back?"
I and it's so funny because he's like, what's he do? Real estate, I think.
Yeah, real estate. Yeah,
Yeah, and like I said, I have his real estate or whatever page on Facebook, and I'll see him on there all dressed up and stuff like that, and it's like, man, I just saw you the other night scream in your face, all like, and he like, that show with the queers they played, I really thought they'd like, I don't know, they stole a lot of the show for me. Like they just, and not being biased because I like those guys and stuff, but like they're good.
yeah, they're definitely good, and then they have their own sound too, which is cool. So it's not really because everyone in the band listens to something different, and it all kind of works out then when they when meshes together.
Yeah, and it's so crazy too because they're all 4 like different personalities in a sense too, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Now, is there any like big shows upcoming like you wanted to talk about?
Um, yeah, we got some stuff. I know you had mentioned the people from Camp Punk. I'm actually doing a promo show with them in February to promote Camp Pennsylvania this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I think I talked to Terry earlier this week to just to get confirmation on the lineup, and I think right now it's I know Coffee's definitely playing on that,
Nice.
and I think it's Working Class Stiffs and Fat Chance coming in with them.
Oh, no kidding.
And, I think we're still looking for a 4th band 'cause, we were trying to get Doc Rotten, but apparently somebody is expecting a baby around that time, so they're not playing shows.
Oh, that'll do it. Those
Yeah.
girls too, like I mean, I've worked with them since I've started this whole shenanigans and everything else I've done, and man, like 2 great people, and they really got their shit together.
Yeah, well, John put me in touch with them, go figure.
And that's funny because, like, John, I remember when I was I've been doing this for I think we've been doing this for 10 months now, Nick and I. Nick runs all my stuff, and, like, I couldn't do anything without him because I told you before I'm computer illiterate. Like, I just sit here and look pretty as I can look. But, uh, John, I remember him just, like he found me out of nowhere. It was just like, "Hey, man, we wanna come on. We wanna come on. We wanna come on." And, like, same with you. I had, like, I was just starting screen printing, and I remember I just had a disastrous day, and I messaged John. I'm like, "Look, man, we're gonna have to reschedule." And I know he was, like, bummed out thinking I was gonna, like, cancel on him or something, and then, like, next week we did it, and I was just like, but yeah, like, he really, networks.
Yeah, yeah, and like, I get it because I kinda did the same thing when we first started doing shows over at West York, and, like, because we had a new venue popping up out of nowhere, so I pretty much was just messaging people cold on Facebook just saying, "Hey, are you guys still playing?" And it was right around when things were just starting to open up in the beginning of this year, and so I'm messaging all these bands, and I'm like, "Okay, well, they haven't posted anything for, like, a year, but is that because of COVID or because they broke up?" So, I would get messages from half of them and hear nothing from the other half, and
Yeah, shit got weird, that's for sure.
yeah, it was definitely that's why we were kinda unsure how things were gonna take off. And but we were one of the first places that's opened back up to start doing live music, and it caught on real fast.
Yeah. Now, weren't you the one telling me that night about like, the you guys were gonna book Pennywise or something like that, and the wasn't that mine and your conversation?
Well, yeah,
Well, I
we
was
were talking
talking to
about
you
that
yeah,
at the queer show.
yeah,
No, what we had some bands in September, and it just happened that same day they had a street fair outside, so we had one of the monitors sitting outside the bar so to try and draw more people in.
mhm.
And we had the one band that was playing there, a band from not too far from here, out of Hanover, Pennsylvania, Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, around that area. The name of the band is El Radness. But they have this song called "Fuck Gary" that they wrote. It's about I think it's one of the guy's supervisors, and the whole song is about how he hates Gary and he had a tumor or something. But they just keep saying fuck Gary," and so this is going out into the street through the monitor that we had sitting out there. So some of the parents were kind of concerned about the language and whatnot. So they had the cops came over and just asked us to turn it down. But oddly enough, the chief of police is like a punk rock fan. So he's standing there talking to him, and he's like, "Yeah, you guys should try and get some of these bigger bands. Like, it'd be really cool if you brought Pennywise in."
Yeah,
Uh,
that'd be something, like, I don't know, especially that'd be a Pennywise show with 200 people in it would be one hell of a show, man.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and
It
I think they've actually canceled shows for less people than that showing up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 'cause I know I had tickets to see them, not too long ago in Lancaster at the Chameleon Club before they shut down, and they ended up canceling the show, and what I heard is they didn't sell enough tickets ahead of time. I don't know if that's true or not, but
Well, I know, when they did that Punk and Drublic this past summer in Pittsburgh, it was, like, right after whatever the hell I was in Vegas, then I came back, and it was the Punk and Drublic in Pittsburgh with No Effects and Pennywise. They, 2 years before that, they were supposed to have it there, but, like, there was a Rancid show going on, like, the weekend before. There was so much shit going on, um, around that time that Punk and Drublic didn't sell enough tickets, so Fat Mike just scrapped it, and that's what I heard too, is basically he didn't sell enough tickets because there was other shit going on, and
well, that seems to happen a lot because I mean, I don't know. I know you're big into the punk stuff, but we do a lot of metal shows and stuff over here too. And I don't know if you're familiar with Raven, the band Raven, but
yeah, I am actually.
we ended up getting them to come in just by dumb luck because they were supposed to play at a place down in Frederick, down at Cafe 611 in Frederick, and they ended up canceling the gig. And some of my friends that are in a local band around here, Wrath of Typhon, were connected to the people that were putting the show on there. So we ended up moving it up here to York with 2 weeks to plan the show to get it together.
And how'd it turn out?
We had about 100 people there that night. So for 2 weeks of planning and no notice, really, I think we did pretty good.
Yeah, no, that's really good. I had the same thing. I have, like, one venue around me, like, I'm in right outside of State College, and there's nothing here. There's actually even nothing in State College, which is odd, but, we go over to McGarvey's in Altoona, but there was an instance, was it over this summer where Sloppy Seconds was playing in Maryland or something, and their gig got canceled. And they ended up coming up to McGarvey's to play, but it was literally like 2-day notice, and it was gonna be on a Monday, but I'll bet you that place was at half capacity. It was really impressive for the, lack of time they had to promote and everything like that.
Yeah, it's amazing how the word can spread that fast sometimes.
Yeah, all this internet power we were talking about, man.
Yeah,
S
yeah,
so you do a lot with metal bands and stuff too? Like
yeah. We got a lot of. There's a huge metal scene around here,
really?
and a big metal scene. There's a lot of metal bands down in the Baltimore, Frederick area, and that's only about 45 minutes to an hour away from us. So we draw a lot of that crowd in for their show too.
Oh, that's kind of best of both worlds kinda thing there. 'Cause that's not I
That's
don't know.
everything that I listen to, and it's punk and metal. That's
Same here. The metal's just I played metal bands all growing up. Like that's what I was hardcore into, and like everybody made fun of me for a while for listening to punk rock. But like there was a time where I was real depressed in my life, and my buddy was like, "Man, you listen to this metal all the time," and he's like, "Some of this shit's depressing, man." And like I started listening to some of it, and I was like, you're kind of right. So I kind of got in I kind of let the punk loose more, and I was like, this is more uplifting and more positive, and that's kind of where it took over. But like, my buddy Dave Steele's been on here. We got a lot of like the hardcore style bands around my area.
oh yeah,
Yeah, they just did. They have a place called the Upstage. They're running. They're actually just moved it, and they're putting a new one together. But he did a festival this year, and who was the headline? Sworn Enemy headline. But
oh
there was
nice.
like yeah, there was like, I wanna say 20 some metal bands just from like Altoona, Clearfield, this area, like it was a good draw. I was
That's
actually
awesome.
yeah, I was actually watching the Working Class Stiffs in Filthy Lowdown in Pittsburgh, or I would have been there. That was another Riot Squad deal. Um,
Yeah, no, they were just up in Harrisburg not too long ago, I think too. Or
oh,
working class stiffs were.
yeah, it was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
Or
yeah. There
ma
aren't too many venues around here, so it's kind of easy to keep track of what's going on.
yeah, no, like, are you guys pretty much is there other venues in York? I know it's not a huge place.
No, there's nothing else in New York right now. Especially, I mean, there's other bars and stuff that'll have cover bands and whatnot, but they don't really support the original stuff. So it's kind of all us right now, especially with ever since Skid Row got shut down.
Yeah, that
That
really
was pretty much the only other place that you could catch original bands in New York.
Yeah, and see,
And
like,
I think MC does a lot of the stuff up at JB Love Drafts in Harrisburg now. So
yeah, that guy puts work in too, man. Holy shit, like,
he ran the scene around here pretty much for the last 10 years.
yeah, he's one dedicated son of a bitch, man. Because I have constantly see uploads to YouTube. He's here, this, that, doing this. He's playing it, the old Tigers. Like, I'm just like, man, you
Yeah.
go, like,
Yeah, he's come in whenever he's available and not doing something on one of his shows or the band or whatever. He's come in and filmed in here at the inn with us. Like he actually filmed when Filthy Lowdown was in. He filmed
yeah,
that night. Yeah.
yeah. I was supposed to come down, and I actually that was the day I actually got to move to my new shop. I got like approved for this place, and I got the call that afternoon, and I'm like, sorry guys, I'm like, I got to start moving my shit because like I was so happy to get out of my kitchen. Like, yeah, printing shirts in your kitchen's not advised. It was just, oh, it was so small and just, but yeah. Um, Phil, I watched those videos too, and like Abe riding Doug's tricycle around the thing. Yeah,
Oh yeah, that was hilarious.
yeah, they were supposed to play, and then Abe unfortunately just had the appendectomy or something like that. His appendix exploded on him, so
Oh
they're
wow.
yeah, they're down and out for a little bit. Um, till he gets better. But they were gonna play this Saturday coming, and he's just like, I can't do it 'cause our birthdays are 2 days apart. His is the 5th, and mine's the 7th. And the day him and I met, we were just talking about it. We were like, we should do an event. And this was back in when did I meet them? June, I think. And because I don't know, I met those guys and like instantly became, really good friends. I think I've stayed at Abe's house like 10 times now. Like every time I go to Pittsburgh, I'm just like, yeah, man, I'm staying with you. Like, luckily his girlfriend likes me too. At least they pretend really well.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, yeah. But those guys are great, man. Like, well, they're a great band. Um, that whole
Oh, they
lineup
were a
you
lot
had,
of fun.
yeah, that whole lineup you had that night was really good.
Yeah, it was a good night. We didn't get the draw that night that we were hoping for, but you never know with this business what's going to happen.
No, and it's even just like I've been a chef until I started creating screen printing. I was a chef for almost 20 years working in bars and stuff like that. And you just don't know, man. Like you can't predict that shit for like, weather.
No, it's so weird because you'll have the shows that you think you're going to draw, 50, 60 people, and 12 people show up. But then the
Yeah.
nights where you're expecting, oh, it's only going to be about 10 people here tonight, and you got, 60, 70 people in the room. You're like, it's not what I was expecting.
Yeah, no, it's just like I said, and that's just the same way with even, just having dinner rushes and stuff like that. It's like, it's a Tuesday, like nothing's gonna happen, and then all of a sudden the whole fucking dining room's packed, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? Like it's
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Yeah, it's such an unpredictable thing, man. And that's what makes it so hard to plan these events too. Like that's what the it stresses me out a lot because I get some of these bands and I get them to come in. And I'm like, okay, well now if nobody shows up to see you, am I going to get you to come back again? And
Right. I think most bands understand that same thing though, you know what I mean? Like you can promote and promote and promote, but like I don't know, unless the, magic's there that night to where everybody's going out, like there's nothing you can really do. Especially playing in like a different city or something, if you're not playing in your hometown or, something like that.
yeah, and that's another thing. If you got to get that one good local band on there that's going to bring some people in to help spread the word too. And there's definitely a lot of local bands around here. So
Yeah, like I said, dude, I just could not believe the scene after. Like I talked to John and them, and then I met up talking to MC, and then meeting AJ, and I met a lot of you guys now. But like you guys, like what a scene! Like, and then you have that metal scene too. It's just like wow, like you got a lot of musicians that way.
yeah, yeah, it's pretty much everybody and their brothers in a band around here.
Now, do you play anything or anything like that, or just
I mess around with the bass and the guitar a little bit here and there, and I jam with one of my buddies every now and then when we get a chance. But we're in that boat where we're looking for a drummer, and every drummer we know is already in 2 or 3 bands. So
same here, man? Same exact thing here. Like you can't find a drummer for the life of you.
no, and if you do find one, then they usually don't fit what you're looking for, which is why they're not in a band anyway. So
Yeah, and they can be a little flaky sometimes, those damn drummers.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, Kevin, this is one that's out to Kevin, you flaky bastard. But, I'm
they're
gonna
always
actually
the last ones to show up for the gigs too. Every time you get the whole band will be here waiting, 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 and 20 minutes before the show, then the drummer rolls in.
we were laughing in Vegas, speaking about bands showing up late, we paid for, the Guttermouth after show, And my buddy and I were like, "Well, I'm buying some Guttermouth merch, like, I could never get it," so we're sitting there waiting, and we're looking at the merch table, like, no Guttermouth stuff, but no Guttermouth anywhere. First band plays, second band plays, like, there's only 4 bands. I'm like, "What the fuck?" We go out after the second band, well, here they start rolling in, man, and they are just all fucked up. So they literally set up their merch table, and I bought 2 shirts. My buddy Jared bought one, but they were so fucked up, they couldn't find the shirts that we needed out of the pile, so they just sold us what they had on the merch table, and literally that was it. Like, they just packed it back up and played and left. So, like, I think we're the only 3 that, like, only we bought 3 shirts, and we're the only ones that got shit from them at all. But, like,
It's hilarious.
dude, it was so funny. Like, I think Mark said he was taking mushrooms because we watched him the next morning on the pool party, and, like, you could just see his eyes. They had, like, the old, Mickey Mouse cartoons, like Steamboat Willie and stuff for some reason up on the
Yeah,
TVs, and I have all these pictures of him, and you can just see his eyes, like, keep looking up, like the TVs were definitely messing with him that night.
that's funny.
Yeah, so
Oh,
one more question, if there was a band or something that you could put on, like, what would be like, the show, what would be the show that you'd put on?
for me, it would be Clutch, man. Like, Clutch is my favorite band, so if there was ever a way to get them to play, I would hop on that in a heartbeat.
Dude, I love Clutch too. I've seen them like 5 times. They're just that's good stuff.
Yeah, that's the band I've seen live the most. I think we're upwards of 60 shows now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for the last well, they've been around for 30 years, so well, I would see them at least twice a year.
Yeah.
I actually have tickets to see them on the 27th this month down in Baltimore, Ramsey.
Oh, cool. Like, they used to come to State College. We had the Crowbar when I was growing up, and thank God we did, which got they always had all age shows, and that's like Clutch would come through there twice, maybe 3 times a year, and, like, that's well, we saw them there, but I got where else did I see them? Riot Fest in 2018, I saw them.
Oh,
Uh,
nice.
yeah, it was really cool because I walked out of a Bouncy shows Soul show right into a Clutch show, so it was very, very cool. Before we go here, is there anything you wanna promote coming up or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, we got a lot of stuff coming up in January. Haven't announced a lot of it yet because we're waiting for the unveiling the name and the logo. But I know, not to give any dates away, but I know I have some. Like I said, we got Working Class Stiffs coming in February. I do have a show in January with the Snip. They're coming in.
Oh, cool, man.
Yeah, yeah. The last time I was talking to Mike earlier, I think, and right now it's the Snipped and Idle Minds, and I don't think they got a third or fourth band yet. So,
Oh, I'll have to dude, I might drive down for that. That's really cool. I make the merch for the Snip, and
oh,
then,
nice.
if there's bands wanting to contact you about playing, is it just best to go through, like, Facebook, or how would they get a hold of you?
Yeah, right now, if you message the West York Inn on the Facebook page, I answer all the messages on there. Or I have a separate phone just for the venue over there too, so I can give out my number too for that. If that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can just call 717 71. Oh, now I gotta look it up. I don't actually remember.
I gotta do this with my own phone numbers, don't feel bad.
It's not my normal phone, so I don't have it committed to memory yet. It's 717-676-7104.
Gotcha. Well, listen, man, I wanna thank you for coming on and talking with me. It was a pleasure, and, I will definitely see you soon because, like I said, I'm definitely coming down for that Beastie show, but now you say that about the Snip, like, I talked to Chris, the singer of Idle Minds, a lot too, and I haven't been able to see them yet, so that's a good opportunity to just kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
Yeah, cool, man. Yeah, like I'm hoping to get some of the January shows at least posted in the next couple days so we can start promoting it, but just been holding off, like I said, as long as we could with the new logo and name. So,
Yeah. Well, when I see him, man, I'll do my best to share him and everything for you.
no, awesome, right on.
Yeah, well, like I said, thanks again, man, and, I'll see you soon.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Alright, well, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, man, we'll talk soon.
See ya.
See you, buddy. That was Jason Overmiller from West York Inn. You got his number. You got way to contact him if you are a band looking to play down there. I saw videos of the place. It looks like a rad venue. I saw, like I said, the Filthy Lowdown and stuff like that. The videos of them playing down there. And like I said, he's booked up, so you might want to get a hold of him if you plan on playing in the next year and a half or so. But until then, also like definitely check into the Pennsylvania Girls stuff. Like I said, they got a venue picked out for next year. It's in Scranton, PA. Like I said, less culty. less. I heard there wasn't going to be as many roosters, and yeah, it should be a good time. But you know the drill. You buy the ticket, take the ride. We'll see you next time.